Hi everyone and welcome back. It's Deborah, and I know that it has been a while since I last gave you a video, and I do have a reason for that. Today I'm going to be using this range, which is called Sweet Child of Mine. I did a flip through of this a few weeks back, so you can have a look at that if you want to. And I've got a couple of things that I want to make. So the first thing that I'm going to make is a card. Now I need a birthday card for a 3-year-old. It might be a little bit babyish, but it's what I've got, so it's what I'm going to use. I have to apologise for my voice. Unfortunately, I had to have surgery, and I have a bit of a throat issue since that was done. Not surgery on my throat, that was just one of the outcomes that I managed to get. Lucky me, lucky me. Anyway, let's get on with telling you about the card that I'm making. So I wanted to cover this with you. This is a piece from the paper pad, and it's 6 by 4 inches. And initially I cut a card that is 6 by 4. I've cut this piece down a tiny bit since I cut that card, this one out. And I was just going to put this on top of the card, but with the 6 by 4 card, it just didn't look generous enough to me. I know it will be the one that can fit in a normal envelope, but I thought I'd make this a little bit bigger because I wasn't happy with the size. So if that's you, I can tell you that what I did was, and you can see the difference there, let me just get this out of the way. I cut another piece of, this is just plain white cardstock. I had some A4 lying around. It's quite heavy, so it's good for cards. So that's my 6 by 4. I cut another piece, 6.5 by 4.5 inches. Well, actually it's double that because it's folded over. So 6.5, and this weighs 4.5. And I found that to be a lot better in terms of a card. It looks to me, it looks like, you know, better. This one looked a bit tacky, to tell you the truth. So I'm not ending up using that one, but I'm just showing you so you know what I'm talking about. And then the next thing I did was I cut some brown cardstock. Now I just happened to have this piece lying around in my box of bits of cardstock, so I thought that I would just put this on here, and I thought maybe I'll ink these edges a little bit to make it look a bit better. So I'm probably not going to be doing videos on a regular basis. I'll see how I go. The reason is that I ended up being diagnosed with breast cancer about a month ago, and I've been going through a whole heap of tests and treatments and things. And I've had 2 surgeries because initially they thought that they could just do a smaller surgery on me. Not that surgery's ever small, but you know what I mean. But unfortunately the outcome of that was that they couldn't get all the cancer. So we had to go back in and do a full surgery on me. And hopefully, I haven't got the results yet, but fingers crossed that they got all the cancer. So I'm a bit wounded at the moment, but look, I'm feeling really well. Got nothing to complain about. I've had the best of care, and I've got the best doctor. I'm very, very happy with how things have gone, and I've got some other things to go through. I'll be having chemo in the next month. Not sure for how long that is. We have none of this in our family, so it's come as quite of a shock to everyone in the family, and it's all a learning curve because we have no point of reference of this in our family. Fortunately and unfortunately, it's happened to me. So just giving you a quick update. I'm not going to dwell on that, but nearly upside down. Just wanted to let you know why I haven't been around much lately, and that will probably continue through for the rest of the year until I get back to it. But today is my first day back doing any sort of craft, so I thought I may as well share it with you. And it's a good reason to do craft is the fact that it's my sister's grandson Henry. He's having a birthday on Saturday and he'll be 3, and I wanted to make a card, and I'm also probably going to make a couple of other cards if I'm feeling that I can keep going. Now, as usual, I've managed to get glue all over that. I'll just try and get rid of that. And I also forgot to get my pokey tool that I need, so excuse the noise while I roll this around. Get my pokey tool. Everything's a little awkward, but just getting my Rascog cart rolled. Here it is. There you go. Now, because, you know, I do like to sort of do a vintagey feel for all my cards, or a bit of a, you know, dirty feel or whatever, I could have inked that other edge. I was going to, but I forgot about that. I'm going to use one of these quote stickers from Tim Holtz. Now, this is the clipping sticker book, and it's got these little bits from book pages and things in it. It's probably a bit of a weird choice for a baby's card, or I guess he's 3, he's not a baby anymore, but I thought if I could find a quote or something on here that might go all right. And I think I did find one. This one here, it says, "The sweetest of memories." I'm just going to grab that and pop that on down the bottom here. Oh, it's not going to go on, but we'll get it. We'll get there. We'll get there. And I want to put it down here just so there's something more on the front of the card and it's not just the little picture. There you go. I think that that looks quite good. And then inside I've cut a piece of the cardstock from the paper, and this is the same image, but I thought I could put it inside rather than just having a plain white card. And then what I can do is I've got some space down here or along here where I can write a little message. You know, it probably won't say much. It'll probably just say "Happy birthday, Henry." And I met him, or I had seen him a couple of years ago, but because of COVID and everything, and, you know, lots of other reasons, they live in the same city, but they're not on our side of town. I hadn't seen him for about 2 years, so maybe more. So he was a little baby when I saw him last, and he's just a gorgeous little kid. Most little kids are gorgeous though, aren't they? So it's really nice to catch up with him. I guess I'm his great auntie. So I'll get to see him and more of the family on Saturday for when we go to the little party that he's having. I think because of COVID, it's just a small family only gathering. We don't have any restrictions here in Brisbane. We might, but certainly, you know, we need to be careful of all that as well, and probably wear our masks and things just to make sure that nobody's getting sick. But I think that that's quite sweet to actually put something inside the card as well. So it's going to stand up really well. Having put that other page, that other paper on the back part of the card gives it some weight. Sometimes I find with cards, if you do a lot on the front and you stand them up, they'll fall forward because they'll be front heavy if you don't do anything on the back. So I just thought that that was a sweet idea. And all I did was cut this 6.5 by 4.5 so that it fitted in really well. And also gives me a spot to write. I could even write here, but I'll probably just write down here a little message. Now the next card that I want to make, and it's probably, you know, a strange mixture to use this one paper to make all these different themes of cards, but it's my wedding anniversary on Thursday, and I want to make an anniversary card for my husband rather than going and buying one. So I'm thinking that I will do something with this pretty paper. Just have a look what else we've got here that I could possibly use. It is quite, you know, it's meant for babies or little kids, but it's really, really pretty, so why not try and use it for something else? So I've got some tags there. See what else I've got that I could possibly make. Now I really like that bench, and in fact I've got a bench here. I've got my paper dolls out. I'm wondering if I can find something that I can sit on that bench to make it into that sort of thing. So I'll just trim this out and fussy cut this out. Actually, I think this is a bigger bench. I might use this one. I will fussy cut this out and then work out if I can actually use it in some way. I've chosen a couple of paper dolls. So I've got the seat, which I think is going to work quite well. I wish I had a white card. I think it might look nicer on a white card than it does on the cream. No, I've only got cream. I've got this other piece. I'll just try it on here first. See if I want to cut a white card. Yeah, it does look better on a white card, doesn't it? So I'm going to cut a white card because it's going to look much better on that. So I've cut the white card. It's just a piece of A4. and I think I want to fold it here, and I'm just going to fold it in half because it's not 12 inches long because it's A4, but I think it might look okay still. If it doesn't, I'll trim it down a bit more. No, that looks fine. That's quite a good size actually. And then I'm going to put my little thing here, what do you call it, seat. And I have the man sitting on the seat, and because see it's white, it's now blending in with that background more. It doesn't look so obvious, it looks more like it's part of the background. And then I'm going to have the lady come stand here just with her hand on his shoulder like that. I have a little quote to put on there. I'd really like something in the background. I was looking at whether something like that, but that's going to kind of defeat the purpose of having put the chair on a white background to disguise it a little bit. And then we'll try and put it back sort of where I had it before, making sure my card opening is on this side. That's very important. I've done that before, put it on upside down. And these people are quite good in terms of their height. Like if he was standing up, he'd be taller than her. So I think that's going to be quite good in terms of that. I don't know whether I should kind of put her behind a bit. No, that looks a bit silly. I'll put him on the seat and then we'll go from there. So I'm just trying to make all these different types of cards from the one paper pack. Now obviously, just get him positioned, and he needs to sit up straight. Obviously if you've got a baby sort of child pack like this, you might think, well, I can only use that for kids. But I'm trying to show you that you can expand that and not just use them for children. Now, kind of want to put her down a bit. Maybe I can put her so she's got her hand in the crook of his arm. If I put her up here on the shoulder, then her bottom of her dress, which is where her feet are underneath that obviously, isn't lining up with the bottom of his feet. And I really wanted them to kind of line up a little bit. In fact, if she's sort of a bit forward of him, then she can be a tiny bit lower. So she's kind of got her hand in the crook of that arm there. That's what I'm aiming for, I think. Put her down and we'll see if it looks any good. I have to put a lot of glue on because my husband keeps these cards. It's 32 years and he's got every one of them and every card I've ever sent him. So make sure that it's put together well. And that can go there. And then the quote I have is this one here, which says, "My sweetheart." Let's try and pop this out because it doesn't seem to want to come now. There it is. And I think I can put that down the bottom here. Now that's a bit plain, so I definitely need to add a bit more to that than what I've got at the moment. But you can see, just looking at the card, you can't tell that there's two different surfaces. That's because I've chosen the white background as opposed to the cream background of the ready-made card. So the next thing I'm going to choose is to fussy cut out a couple of the balloons from the paper. This is from the sheet of fussy cut that's within the paper pack. And I'm cutting the little tie, the string off. So it's always hard. That's just so thin. In this case, at the end, it's almost non-existent. So I thought rather than leaving that on there, I'm just going to cut it off and I'll have to replicate it somehow. Probably just a really thin light pen or something might do it. I will leave this little bit that's on the bottom of the balloon though, so I can have my string coming out of that. You probably can't even see, but that's the string right there. So it's really, really pale and tiny. So if I put this kind of up here and I get a couple more. Actually, maybe I can sort of faux tie them to the chair. That might be quite cute. Put a bit of colour on the outside because as usual, you know, everything's brown. Can't help myself. Just pop those on there and that's where they've landed. So I think that's probably quite okay. I might just put them down there. And then I'll draw some of the string things if I can manage it. I just overlap them a little bit like this. Perhaps this one up here. I'm thinking a pencil might be the best thing to mark these with. Just push that up a bit. That's going to be difficult, so I'm just going to do a little thing like that. And then just have the string going down here. And the string going down here. And then of course I'd have the pink string as well, wouldn't I? So maybe the pink string is like coming here, like that. And then maybe I can sort of tie a little, I really need like a little bow, or maybe there'll be a bow or a little flower or something on here. Let's see. I think I had a little bow before. I don't know what happened to it. No, that was a little flower. I have to have a think about this to see what I want. Maybe I'll just leave it like that and then just bring the string down a little bit like this at the bottom. I think that's fine. See how I've done that? Just drawn that so it looks like they're attached to the seat on that end. Okay. And then inside I want to put something. So I'll have a look what I've got. Just quickly go through. Now I can't use any of the pre-done square images because they're just not the right size. But I may be able to find something on one of these pieces that might fit. The problem with this paper is it's so pretty that you don't want to chop into the back because it's too nice. Maybe I could use some of this though. If I can position it so I get the piece that's down here and put that side on, I think that would look okay. And then I've still got up here and all of this down this side, probably to there. Okay, so that's what I'll do. So to cut this piece down, because this isn't a standard size card, it's, you know, because I've just made it myself. I know how big it is, but I'm thinking that if I put it on here, and make sure it's tapped down on each edge, that looks right. And on the side, I can then turn it over and make a mark of where to cut this. So I'm going to cut it here and here. All right. So the piece that I'm going to have will be that piece, and that will be fine. I'll just get that cut. So that's the piece that I've ended up with. And I still have this for all this down the side and that. So I think that was probably the best piece to cut. And I like the idea of putting something inside. I know this isn't a really bright card, but you know, it's what I do. And he knows that, so I'll put this down here. So again, that just goes in there. And it should fit perfectly because I measured it on the card and it does. And again, there's room to write on here, which I will do, rather than writing on the white. Wondering what else I need, whether I need like a strip down here. I thought I saw some strips somewhere, but I think I'm going to have to leave it. This has taken more out of me than what I thought it would. So I'm going to say that's enough for today. I've only made my 2 cards. I did want to try and make the third one, but I might try and make that after I've had a bit of a break, or maybe tomorrow. So for now, this is Deborah. Keep an eye out on the videos. Don't forget to subscribe because they won't be published on regular days. Certainly for the next few months, I won't be in a routine that will allow me to do that. But I hope you enjoyed this and it's given you some ideas. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.